I'm Terry Sacka, and this is Rigged Against You. Silver $2 days going up will soon be $5 days. Now, I'm going to show you towards the end of this podcast the actual silver situation. Before I get going, I do want to show you why we're having an issue with the stock market, what's really taking place. And you want to be prepared for this because it's coming. Now, I can't get into the big details of silver as to why. All the dynamics are in my past podcasts. We're talking about central banks taking position in silver, silver being listed not just in the United States, but India and other nations as a critical mineral. There's a lot going on behind the scenes for battle for the actual physical silver. And we're going to see the derivatives that control the silver market here in the COMEX United States. They will be gone. And once that happens, we're going to have true price discovery when it comes to silver. So before I get going, please consider subscribing, hit the notification. So when I do drop a podcast, you'll be notified. This information is definitely helpful for you to make wise decisions for your future. This just happens to be time and season. It's just what's taken place. We've been waiting for this for quite some time. You know, I hear people talking about silver. It's surprisingly, you know, people even in the Christian community where, you know, silver is just this metal and you just store it and it's just boring. And I've had it for so long. Well, if you've been buying silver over the years, you probably started around $14. You're only up a few 100% right now. And it's not even the gain, although that's fantastic going forward. Cornerstone has phenomenal clients that have hung out and they're doing phenomenal right now. And this is just getting going. People, I think, are finding it hard to believe that silver can actually do this, but they don't realize that it's actually a real commodity and a finite resource, especially with AI, robotics, and everything that is coming. The amount of silver needed is unbelievable. And so when I hear people, you know, poo-poo silver and, oh, there's other things you can do with your asset, I'm thinking, okay, there's two things here. One, you just don't have enough money and you're trying to just find the best investment for yourself. I get it. But to not have a substantial part of your portfolio in physical silver for the long term, you're going to regret that decision for retirement. Number one, it is going to continue to appreciate. It's going to be a phenomenal asset. And so many people were playing in with the whole crypto angle. So as silver has been exploding this year, crypto is going down. And we haven't even passed the Clarity Act in crypto yet. So you need to understand this is all about timing, time and season. I do believe there will be some cryptos that will do phenomenal. I think they're long term. Some of the big ones will be easily 5 years from now. I get that. But to not be in silver was a big mistake because the money you would have been making in silver, you could have taken that profit and bought the crypto still at the low end of the cycle, but buy a lot more of it. So I think a lot of people are making some big mistakes on that. We just have a difference of opinion. Silver is not something boring. It is something that you hold on to. It's an asset that is not paper. It is true money, biblical true money. Gold is mine, the silver is mine. And God has made it very clear, I know, to myself, to Sid Roth, and some others I know, why physical silver will be so important for we, the people in the kingdom. So be very careful when you hear people beating silver up. I think they're just making a big mistake. And I get it. If you lack resources, you have to make a choice. But for long term, medium to long term, and especially for your retirement, this is going to be paramount. So here's what's going on in the market system itself. This is the price to earnings ratio of the largest stocks. They have taken PE index much higher. And so look at the gold on the right. They're starting to overvalue these stocks. Now, mind you, I told them in my last podcast, AI is the only thing really keeping this market up. Wait till you see what this leads to. And then towards the end of the podcast, I'll show you what's going on in silver itself. But look at the PE. Look at how the PE is getting overpriced. And I know people go through historicals. We have a lot higher PEs during the .com. But the point is they're going over value to the actual stock itself and the underlying asset. AI firms, when it comes to AI, this is the only thing keeping the stock market up. They're eating up their free cash flow with the CapEx. Look at where they're at. They literally have gone through about 3/4 of the free cash flow. Now, don't get me wrong. I think AI is going to be spectacular. The thing is, they're not producing any real revenue yet, and they're doing it based off of data centers that haven't been built. And so when it comes to AI, they've been circulating money among the companies with loans and guarantees, but it's not producing anything. And there's going to be a big correction off of that, but it will eventually be a phenomenal place to be, but just not right now. Data centers have to get built, but look at the cash flow. The cash flow is running out. This whole AI bubble is going to come out. The air is coming out of it. And when it does, that's where that stock market's going to be correcting. And you better make sure you're in the right place so you don't have to wait the long term for it. U.S. stocks themselves, they are 2 times the actual cost of the firms and the firm's underlying assets. U.S. stocks are at an all-time high versus the replacement cost. That is an overbought market, an overvalued stock market. They just keep putting it up, mostly you in the retail. Smart money has been getting out, but the retail people keep thinking FOMO, fear of missing out. I don't want to get out of the market. Yet the market has barely moved this year, a few percentage points. And yet silver has absolutely exploded. So there's been a tremendous opportunity loss, but I'm only telling you now that you're only in the 3rd or 4th inning of this in the commodity side. But the fact that stocks are this overvalued, 2 times the cost of underlying assets, that is your indicator that the stocks are overvalued and need correcting. Very important to pay attention to this, and why diversifying into another asset class is very important. And it comes down to this. Look at 2025 on the right. This is the investments, loans given. So we got loans, the blue is in the bonds and the orange are loans. This is all the money that has been circulating in through the AI circle, and it's running out. And yet nothing has been built yet, and revenue isn't matching the hype of the stock's value. So we know a correction is coming. Again, I do believe long term, this is going to be fantastic. But when it comes right down to why the stock market is going to be correcting, it is important to pay attention to, because I do believe too many retail people are in the stock market because of the AI hype. But when you see this raw data that shows you the cash flow is out, they're not really producing real revenue, and the data centers haven't been built yet. That's why President Trump has allocated hundreds of billions in loans for nuclear power plants. It's going to take time to do it. AI and these data centers need energy. They need power. They're not putting up nuclear power plants in 6 months. This is definitely going to be the future. It's not going to be our friend. I think the mark of the beast is going to come from this. I think digital ID is going to come from this. I really believe we Christians have to pay real close attention to it. Why, more importantly than ever, we should have a good chunk of our wealth outside the system in tangible assets that are going to continue to appreciate, like physical silver. You don't want to be in the paper realm. When this happens, when the AI takes full effect, and then we get a Democrat president, we're done. Everything you do will be tied to your bank account. Your behavior will be tied to your bank account. It will be just like China in the social credit system, and we will be slaves. And we just have to pray that we get more time. Pray that after Trump, we can get a Vance and Rubio, or Rubio and DeSantis ticket, and we continue. Republicans, and especially the Christians, you better get out and vote in the midterms, because if we lose the House or lose the Senate, it's going to really stall this agenda. And if you think we have economic troubles now, wait, stall that agenda and wait and see what's happening. Trump has a good plan. He does want to bring those rates down to 1%. He does want to bring the dollar value down 30, 40%. They will be printing trillions and trillions of dollars, and all three of those are perfect storms for the continued growth of gold and silver. Just have to look at the data, try to see through the bigger picture. This is different this time. We are not going back down to $14 silver ever again. We are going to new price discovery levels. And if you really put silver in and match it with the inflation adjusted from the bull market of the 70s, you will see silver prices reach $600. Now, I'm not really floating that. I think in a parabolic situation, we could definitely go high like that. To me, $200 is easy to see. That's a few 100% return from here. And you're not getting that kind of return in the stock market anytime soon. We have a lot that has to take place. And until these rates come down, that dollar value comes down, and we start cleaning up the government a little bit more, we're not going to have that economic boom. Now, I believe, hopefully anyway, we all have to pray for this, that it can be done by summer to fall of next year, and those rates being down and the economy moving to get people motivated to continue to vote in Republicans so we can get the proper laws passed and get this country back on the right track ideologically and morally and financially. But here's where silver is today. This is the current silver market. What I want you to see here is the trend line there is beautiful. But you see where we topped out and then they had the sell-off, which was very, very healthy. We marched right back up to the top. So we created what we call a bull. Now, I won't be surprised to see, it would be nice to see anyway, a slight sell-off on silver again to create the handle. And this would be a cup and handle formation. But you can see we're strong above that trend line, which is extremely powerful for the beginning stages of the bull market in silver that we see. Now, take a look at this one. This is silver and gold. Look at how silver has outperformed gold this year. Silver is dramatically outperforming gold. Very, very important because silver and the return on the investment will be outperforming gold going forward. I've talked a lot about that when it comes to the silver gold ratio, a lot about that when it comes to what asset you own during which part of the cycle, and owning silver is valuable over owning gold. Now, I do understand owning gold. If I did, I would own it in dime size 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles, because then you have yourself a $1,000 bill in the future. You can sell it easy, and it's really more for emergency. It's in case the system were to shut down, you have a handful of money in your hand. Silver will act as the same way, of course, but silver is bulkier and heavier, so it's a lot harder to store up, thousands and thousands of ounces in your home. A lot of people do private depository accounts. They store it there. That way they can sell it easier, especially in your IRAs. It's easy. It's in the depository. You can always sell when you have to diversify out. But look at how silver has been outperforming gold this year. And so gold will continue to rise. I believe gold easily sees $6,000 by spring, and silver will continue to march higher. The sell-offs are normal. It's healthy, and you want to see that because if you notice, silver is up substantially this year. It went straight up. We needed that sell-off, and I'm very glad we did get that. This goes back to what I was saying with the gold to silver ratio. As you can see, when we have the circles there at the top, that's when you sell your gold and you buy silver. We're in the same zone. So even silver in the $50 range, we're still way over the 80-to-1 gold to silver ratio. It's way too high. That ratio is coming down. As you can see on the right side here, that arrow, this ratio will come back down to 30. And I believe, and a lot of my colleagues believe, it's going a lot lower than 30. If we just do 30 on the ratio right now to the price of gold, that's silver at about $120. So you can see why going to $200 silver is very attainable. And I think during the hyper nature of the cycle, because gold will be too expensive for most people, they'll go start buying silver. We could see silver run well beyond 200 into the $300, $400, $500, and even $600 level when we account for the same trend of the bull market of the 70s. So this is all you need to see as far as what metal you should buy. But don't get me wrong, owning some gold is always a healthy thing. But right now we are seeing a once in a lifetime change in the physical silver market as central banks are buying silver, as AI is dominating the need for silver and the critical mineral list nature because military needs silver. And so the East, China, India, Russia, they're all vying to take the physical silver away from the West. This hasn't been done before. But because silver is the only metal that does what it does in electronics, especially with AI, robotics, and the computing, we're going to need a lot more. There are some projects they've discovered some silver, but it's going to take 10 years to get them online. And so right now, the supply is going to get tighter and tighter. Why we will see those prices continue to run as they try to draw the physical silver away from those who are holding it. And just remember, when I get to the marketplace, I talk about AI and AI being the main reason that the stock market is up right now, which is true. And I showed you where AI is now running out of cash flow. They're not producing revenue, and the data centers haven't even begun to be built. There will be a correction. When AI decides to sell off, that whole stock market's coming down anywhere between 25 and 50%. If you're still in the stock market, you're going to have to wait years for that to come back to break even. Why wouldn't you be in an asset that's going to be accelerating during that time and then go and re-diversify later? It's a very important analysis to really take serious. I know financial advisors, what they're telling people, they're just wrong. They've been wrong. I hear people still making jokes about gold and silver, and I'm just laughing at them. I'm like, gold has outperformed the stock market over the last 20 years. Fact. Silver this year alone has outperformed dramatically the stock market. That's a fact. We have finally broken through. And how we know that market correction is coming, and this was just added recently, another $38 billion added to the cash position of Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. This is Berkshire's cash position on short-term investments. This is more cash than he was holding during the 2008 market correction. He knows, smart money knows, and they are selling into you retail. Silver is a perfect storm right now. With the three elements of interest rates, lowering the dollar, and printing of trillions, and with the fierce demand for physical silver worldwide, you're going to see the derivatives finally break down. And once those derivatives break down, the silver price is running. And so when I say $2 days, as we've seen a handful of silver going up $2 in a day, pretty soon those days will be $5 days. And many people will sit back and go, gee, I wish I would have listened. I don't want to see that happen. I would love for you to take advantage of it. I know too many people who have about 400,000 in the stock market. They put like 30 or 40,000 in silver. They're not going to be millionaires. If you were in silver, you would have been. So you really have to take a look at just the time and season we're in and know this just happens to be one of those times, because this is my opinion based on years and years of experience and being in the industry. I know what the supply and demand is. And for the first time, I've seen demand so ferocious outside of the supply, even with recycling. The only way or the only place for silver to go is up. Will it correct sometimes? Absolutely, which is very normal. But as I showed you, it's staying above that trend line. They can't bring it down too much, because if they do, the Chinese, the Russians, the Indians, and others will come in and take that physical away from the West. So until next time, just get ready. When those $5 days of silver come, don't get too excited and sell too early, but I do understand if there's a need for something or you need to make a diversified change, I get selling silver. But right now, the opportunity is tremendous for great wealth transfer. And if any people talk about the wealth transfer, I think they're missing what the real one is. So until next time, God bless you.
With all of the recent changes in the political and financial markets, there has never been a better time than right now to invest in silver and gold. When governments simply print billions of dollars in paper money in hopes of solving financial shortfalls, you know that it is time to buy and hold assets of true and lasting value. Free information is available to you right now by calling 888-747-3309. Whether you are a new investor or you're interested in preserving the value of your retirement accounts, we make it easy for you to make smart decisions for your financial future. The specialists at Cornerstone are here to serve you, work to satisfy your retirement goals, and communicate with respect. Call us right now at 888-747-3309. That's 888-747-3309. Or visit us online at cornerstoneassetmetals.com. That's cornerstoneassetmetals.com.